Amy here. I have a little recipe from Disneyland that I want to share with you. My recipe is a little bit different because I like to use as few ingredients as possible, but I just want to say today would have been the 6th grade field trip at Crystal to Disneyland, and since you guys cannot go to Disneyland, I want to bring just a little taste of Disneyland to you guys. So the ingredients that you need for this is 16 ounces of frozen pineapple. I like them in the chunks, and 16 ounces works out to 2 cups. So if you want to pre-measure it and then freeze it, you can do that as well. I use 1 cup of heavy cream, and I use organic agave nectar for sweetening, and I use it because it doesn't raise your glycemic level, but you can always use honey or even sugar. At Disneyland, they actually use vanilla ice cream and frozen pineapple, but there's a lot of preservatives and different things, so this would actually be considered a keto recipe, and if you even wanted to substitute your sweetener for dates, you could do that as well. So how I start is I pour my pineapple into the blender. And we use heavy cream because it has a higher fat content and it freezes really nicely. So the minute it hits the pineapple, it's going to start freezing up, which is awesome, and it makes it like ice cream. And then just a squirt to taste of some agave. I don't like mine really sweet. Some people do. The choice is up to you. Then you blend it. There we go. And you can actually get this at the park just like this as an ice cream dessert, or one thing that I like to do, and they also offer this at the park, is you can get it as a float. And not just an ordinary float. And let me just tell you, there is nothing in the world better on a hot day at Disneyland. Your feet are aching and tired, and you're strolling past the Tiki Room, which is like the oasis in the park, and you see the Dole stand, and you're like, I want one of those to cool off. Let me just tell you, you just take a little bit of your Dole Whip, you add in Dole pineapple juice, you pour it in, and put your straw on. You guys like my cups, and you enjoy it. Oh man, I feel like I'm at Disneyland. I hope you guys enjoyed the paint night with Mr. Chris tonight. And don't forget to make your Dole Whips, which are totally enjoyable. Enjoy Stitch, guys. Have a wonderful evening.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future.
You know, I get asked by the kids all the time, what inspires me to create art, or who are my heroes? And I have to say my greatest hero is the man himself, Mr. Walter Elias Disney. Walt Disney's always been one of my heroes, and of course, going into the park as a little boy and just seeing all the magic there and all the artwork and just being surrounded by all the creativity from the 9 Old Men and the Disney Imagineers, that's what's inspired me to do what I do. And of course, the kids always say, when I walk through the door, Mr. Hernandez, what are we drawing today? And I think that's awesome. Well, hello there everybody. How you doing? Are you guys excited to paint tonight? Did you guys like that intro? This paint night is indeed dedicated to all of the kids, students, anybody who's ever painted or drawn Stitch with me. I don't know why he's not my favorite character, but I do love him. But that's the #1 requested cartoon I get from people is teach us how to draw Stitch. So I did. And I've been drawing him, I don't know, with hundreds of students for years. And it's pretty amazing. But now we're going to get to paint him. Okay, so I hope you guys are having a good night tonight. Did you guys like the Dole Whips? Wasn't that awesome? You know, I really wish that I could get Dole Whips more often when I'm at Disneyland, but that line is so long. And I just don't like to wait in lines. There's no fast pass for that one, so. Anyways, so we're going to be painting, and I'm going to have a camera down here at the bottom of my canvas. It's going to be right up here for you guys. And I'm going to teach you how to mix paints. I'm going to teach you how to use angles and different types of measurements to make this painting. So, are you guys ready? We're going to use black, white, a little tiny bit of red, some yellow, and of course, some blue for Stitch. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and get started. Let's see. I got some good lighting right here. I've got my 11 by 14 canvas. We are going to be painting in a portrait mode, not a landscape. This is a portrait. Please do me a big favor, preserve your paints, take good care of your brushes. If you have to step up and leave to use the restroom or go get another Dole Whip, please make sure to rinse your brush out because these brushes, they're very good brushes, but they're not bulletproof. They are synthetic brushes and the paint will dry on them. And if the paint dries, they become sort of unusable. So acrylic paint is sort of a polymer plastic material. You do not want to get it on your clothes. If you get it on your hands, I got them on my hands still. I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh, I'm out of focus. There we go. Hang on a minute, guys. If you get it on your hands, it'll come off. It's not a big deal. But please don't get it on your clothes. Please don't get it on carpet. And hold on, here we go. All right, we're back. Okay, so I have paint on my hands all the time. It's really not a big deal. Try to keep your area clean. Whatever side you paint on, I don't talk about this too much, but because I'm left-handed, I want all my paints on the left side. My waters, I want everything. I don't want everything on the right side, and then I go to reach across, and then I knock things over, okay? So I'm left-handed. Everything's going to be right here on the left side. If you're right-handed, put everything onto the right side. Makes it easier to paint. So let's begin. I'm going to start with my round brush, and here's how I'm going to make Stitch. I'm going to use some blue, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and turn that, there, it's on already. Now I want to keep my palette, I want everything separated. So I want to be able to turn this around if I want to use different paints. I don't want the whites or the darks, black paints, I don't want them too close to my primary colors here. And here goes some white. Now I'm actually going to do what we did last time. If you guys joined us last time, I got my round brush and I sort of drew out with my paintbrush what we were going to do. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw an oval shape, not a circle. Please don't draw a circle. And if you have to, we can reshape. It's not a big deal. Also, I noticed a lot of you, the last time we painted, some of you had that line going through. It was a little transparent. That's because we need to layer your paints a little bit more. So my painting had like 3 layers of paint. Some of you might have only put 1 layer and you were happy with it. If you want, all you have to do is just let it dry up a little bit and just start layering it a little bit more. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Here's my round brush. I'm going to mix a little bit. I'm just going to draw this out first with my paintbrush. I'm going to grab some white, just a little bit. I'm going to put this right over here. Okay, I'm going to actually do this a little bit darker. You guys don't do it darker because I want you to be able to paint right over this. Somewhere right in the center here. Okay, I'm going to paint an oval. Okay, it's not a circle. Painting an oval. Think of an egg, a little bit of a squish circle. Okay, so I'll give you guys a second to do that. Now, I don't like painting with my wrist. If you noticed, I painted using my whole arm. Okay, we can naturally rotate our arm in a circle, but our wrist does not go in a full circle, it stops. It's one of the first things I learned in animation school. Okay. If your blue is lighter, it's totally fine. Everyone's going to have a different blue. Right now, like if you guys were here at my place and we were doing a big paint party, you guys would all have the same colored paints because they would all be coming from me. You'd have all this color blue. If you receive paint kits from Miss Amy and I, that is called primary blue. You can always darken your blue by adding a tiny drop of red, not too much, okay? So don't worry if it's lighter. It doesn't, remember, I am just a reference. I say this at every paint night. I am just a reference, you guys, okay? I want you to have a different version. Some of you paint different flowers or different colored trees when I paint, and that's awesome. I love that. Okay, so this is your interpretation. Okay, so watch what I do next. Does everybody have this done? Okay, so check this out. No matter how big your canvas is, this is what I want you to do next. I want you to get your fingers and go from here to here. Don't touch your painting, it's probably still wet. Okay, watch what I do here. I'm gonna do this. And the same width that's on his head is gonna be the same for his ear. So I'm gonna go down about right here, and I'm gonna put a little mark about right there. Okay. So here, actually up a little bit higher, right there. Sorry about that, guys. So right here to about right there. Okay, so here's my mark, not that one right there. Okay, we're gonna paint his ears in next. And what I like to do, anytime I make cartoons, anything like that, I always block in the basic shapes. Okay, so here's my starting point, somewhere up here. And here's my end point right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my brush and I'm going to paint a curve that goes from here down to here. And it's going to look just like this. Okay, we're making his ear right here. Remember, he doesn't have little ears and he doesn't have giant ears. So find a happy medium somewhere in between, but remember, we're going to go from here. The width right here should be the same width for his ears right there. All right, and it's a little bit warm today, so I'm going to add a little bit of water in my brush. Don't add a lot. I'm using soft body acrylics, so they don't need to be watered down much. But remember, when you're painting on canvas, your paintbrush should be gliding across the canvas. If it's sticky and it feels like you're painting on like glue or something tacky, that means your paint's drying up and you need to add more paint or put a little bit of water in it. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to go onto this side, and I'm going to do the same thing over here, but watch this. Don't do another curve like this. Please don't move ahead of me, because a lot of students do this, and I tell them, don't do that because his ear is not matched over here. It's the same line. It's going to go here, but I'm going to stop, and he has this little chunk taken out of his ear. Right there like that. Okay. So we're doing the basic outline of him first. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint his back ear right over here. And what I like to do is tell myself I want his back ear to come over somewhere in this area. I don't want his back ear to go way out over here, so I want to contain that, and I want to put it somewhere right here. These little marks, I like to put them in here when I'm painting because we're just going to paint over them anyways. You're not going to see it. Now, remember we talked about negative space the last time we painted. I want some negative space right here. The negative space is the space in between two objects. Okay, so I'm going to go up to about right here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a curve. Shark fin. How's that looking, guys? Good? Every so often, put your brush down, analyze it, tell yourself, hey, I need to make some adjustments. Remember, this is not final. This is just a basic outline for me to construct this cartoon character, okay? That's all it is. In other words, this is not the finished piece. Okay, these are just basic construction lines to help you out. All right, I'm going to add a little bit more blue. I'm keeping my lines lighter because I want them to be easier to paint over as soon as we start painting our darker blues in. Okay, the next thing I want to do, let's tackle his body first, okay? We got these ears all right here. We got the oval lined up, ready to go. Remember, it all starts with circles and ovals. Here's what we started with. And then we determined that, hey, this right here, the width of this right here is going to be the width of his ear. And then I lined up my paintbrush with this angle and told myself I don't want his ear to go anywhere past this area. Okay, and that's how I paint and that's how I draw. I use these little objects as little points, little guides. Okay, here we go. The next thing I'm going to do is somewhere around here, I'm going to paint a little curve. This is going to be his neck. Oh, and here we go with the Disney trivia. Didn't even look. That's awesome. Yes. I got my own Disney trivia too. You guys know I worked at the park. I have my name badge. That's just one of my name badges. I don't even think you can get those anymore. That's pretty old school. So I worked at the park in 1996. I was actually Peter Pan. Just kidding, I wasn't Peter Pan. I tell everybody I was Peter Pan, and they believe it. But I worked at the Carnation Cafe on Main Street. I worked in Main Street restaurants. I also worked in Coke Corner. And I had a lot of fun there. What are you doing?
Hi.
Oh.
I don't like to talk without people seeing me. I don't know. Mr. Chris asked me to marry him at Disneyland.
I did.
True story. Yep.
I did. Right in front of Uncle Walt. Walt Disney is my hero. I love him. Went to the Disney Studios. I'll show you my, will you unclip that?
Unclip it?
Just unclip it. I got to go to the Disney Studios. Here was my clearance badge when I was at the Disney Studios. My good friend Jimmy was working on a production, Jimmy Gadd, over at the Disney Studios, and he invited me, and it was fun. We got to hang out there for like 3 hours. It was rad. I ate Walt Disney's chili beans, his famous chili beans that he used to like. Got to see his office. It was a lot of fun. It's awesome. Once in a lifetime trip for sure.
So can I say something really quick?
Yeah,
Mr.
go for it.
Chris?
Go for it.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about Disney trivia. First of all, I want to remind you guys that the Disney trivia today is mainly for the kids. So don't get angry with me if you aren't first. I do want to congratulate Zito. He won our Star Wars trivia last time and won an original painting by Mr. Chris, which was awesome. I just want to remind you that I give the point to the first person with the correct answer spelled correctly. So if you answer right, but it's not spelled correctly, the teacher in me says I have to give it to the first person where it's spelled correctly. So I just wanted to let you know how I was scoring Disney trivia. I will let you go back to painting with Mr. Chris, have fun, and test to see how well you can do with this Disney trivia. Have a good time, guys.
Awesome. Thank you. I love Disney trivia. If you guys are up near San Francisco, go visit the Walt Disney Family Museum. Oh, when it opens, I'm sorry. When everything settles down, please go to the Walt Disney Family Museum. It'll be the best thing you ever do if you're a Disney fan. It is rad. Diane Disney Miller, Walt Disney's daughter, created it and put it together, and it was pretty amazing. I was super impressed by it. Okay, let's continue. We have all this. Let's make his body. Now, his body is going to be, from this point, the shape of a triangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from here down, and I'm going to go over, but I'm going to go over just a little bit right here, right below his ear. Can you guys see this? I'm going to put a little mark right below his ear. That's the bottom of his bottom. Okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my brush, and I'm going to go down this way. So for wherever your face is at, okay, follow my angle. I'm going to go down and put a mark right here. And that's going to tell me I don't want his legs going past his face right here because this is his face. And I'm simply going to make a curve that goes from here, here, just like that. Okay. See how I'm using all these angles? Whenever I draw cartoons, I draw them pretty fast because they all line up in my head. Everything goes bloop, bloop, bloop really fast. Okay? And I see all these different angles. So I got a curve. It's a little bit of a smile. It's not a straight line, but this is where his bottom is going to be. Okay? And next thing I'm going to do is before I complete this triangle, I'm going to put a little backwards C right here. Or you can make a circle. It's his tail. His little nubby tail. Okay. All right. Now remember, ultimately I'm making the shape, of a triangle. Just like this for his body. Basic shapes. My kids always tell me, Mr. Hernandez, Mr. Chris, what can I do to become a better cartoonist? I tell them, please learn basic shapes. Draw tons of circles, draw tons of spheres, cylinders, boxes, triangles, because that's all cartoons are. They're basic shapes. It's how they're animated. They have to be simple shapes. Okay, so in other words, right here, we're going to make this triangle shape that goes from here. And now look at, here's a triangle shape, just like that. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting his feet in. So right over here, we made this little curve. I want to make his foot that goes a little lined up with this little part of his ear right here. And I'm going to make a curve that goes like this. And it's going to go past this line right here, just a little bit. Just like that. What do I call a dinosaur? What do you call a dinosaur who sleeps?
A sleeposaurus?
Sleeposaurus?
A sleeposaurus rex?
I give up. Tell me. Come on, tell me or it's going to drive me nuts. I give up. What is it? Okay, well, I'm waiting for that answer so I can learn a new joke. That's awesome. I'm going to draw his other foot. Or I'm going to paint his other foot. Now, all it is I'm going to go right up here. About halfway to where this triangle is. Right up here, I'm going to put a mark right there. And ultimately, I'm going to make another mark that goes from here down to right here.
Oh, a dinosaur.
A dinosaur. Rad.
Oh, that's my kind of joke, Emily.
It is.
I'm the cheesy one in this house.
Okay, there's that. I'm going to draw another shape that comes out from this foot. And this is where you're going to see his toes. It's just a little one. Just right there, just like that. Okay? I'm going to shape his bum a little bit more. Like that. And like that. Okay? Now, we got to put his arm in next. But I don't want to move fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys catch up. I'm going to set this here for just a second. And I'm going to sit here and virtually watch you. Because I have a special webcam that I bought. It's a secret webcam that I purchased from a magic shop at Disneyland. And I could see what you're all doing right now. Right there, I'm watching you guys. You're laughing at me saying, no you can't. Yes I can, and I totally heard you. Nice work. Here is trivia question number 2. What Disney live-action film is based on a story by Jules Verne? Oh, I love that one. I'm not going to tell you because I know.
Oh, sillies.
Hey, Christopher. I was just talking to Mrs. Hernandez about you. I love watching you paint. How I like to relax watching you paint.
Megan's
Who got it?
Megan's my girl.
Did Megan get it? Yeah. Megan Burns. Megan Burns is my kid. I love Megan. I've had Megan as a student a long time, and now I have the awesome but sad duty of saying goodbye to her because she is a senior. She is graduating this year from Oak Hills High School. And she's going to break my heart, just like the rest of all of them. Thanks, Megan. Thanks for growing up and ruining my life. Just kidding. I'm really proud of you. Very, very proud of you guys. I got to meet a senior yesterday from Sultana High School, Ashley Hernandez. I thought that was awesome. Congratulations on you graduating, on your graduation, Ashley.
That's a great one, Carlos, but that's not the answer. Did you see what Carlos wrote?
Oh,
Around the World in
yeah.
8 Days. We love
Yeah,
that.
actually my favorite Disney movie, Treasure Island, starring Robert Newton, Bobby Driscoll. Robert Newton was in Around the World in 80 Days. Robert Newton is the most famous pirate ever. He's the one who started the Yarr! Pirates didn't actually say that, Robert Newton did. Okay, here we go. Let's put his arm in. So I'm going to go ahead and put his arm in. I'm going to go a little bit below where his neck is at. Don't paint his arm coming out of his neck. So where this curve is at right here, I'm going to simply put a line that goes up. Here's his shoulder. Just like this. Okay, I know this looks a little bit weird. I promise it's all going to come together. But the next line I want to put in, after I put that arm in, let's go to his ear. And we're going to make a shape. It's going to go from here. It's going to start right over here. I'm going to put a little V right here to let me know. Then I'm going to go from here to right here. So I have a starting point and a stopping point. It's going to come out. And I'm going to curve this in. Just like that. And so I don't confuse myself, I'm just going to go ahead and fill it in with paint with my round brush. Start getting that paint on there. leave the paint. It's going to look streaky. You're going to say, oh wait, I need to add more paint, and you're going to keep gooping it on there. Please do not do that. Please be very patient. Okay, let your paint dry up on there. Don't touch your paint to see if it's dry, because that doesn't work. Okay, and then let's go. There's so much other things to do on this while that's drying. So now we're going to do with the bottom part, and it's going to start here and it's going to end right here. Okay, so I'm going to start this line here. It's going to curve a little bit and go like this. And I'm going to fill this in. So there's his ear. I want to slim it down a little bit. I'm going to reshape that here in just a second, but I just want to get this paint in here. And I don't want any lines right here other than this dark line right here, and that's all I'm going to do. Let that dry. Let's go ahead and get some more paint so we can start outlining a little bit more. Don't worry about that. This has to be a darker blue because it's going to be off to the back. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to make, you remember the shape that we made right here? I want to make a smaller version of that right here in this area. Okay, I'm going to put his eye right there. Looks like an egg. Hello, Mrs. Nunez.
What? He never lands.
Oh! I love that one. So, Treasure Island's my favorite movie. So I'm giving you guys a little bit of facts, not trivia, but Treasure Island's my favorite film that Disney made. It was one of the first films Disney made across overseas in England. Bobby Driscoll played the young Jim Hawkins. Jim Hawkins, or Bobby Driscoll, would later go on to play the voice of Peter Pan. So if you ever go watch the movie Treasure Island, that's Peter Pan as like a 13-year-old kid. Here we go. Let's make the nose. Okay, I'm going to go right up here. Now, don't make his nose straight. It's going to go a little bit angled. It's going to protrude out just a little bit, like right up here. Just another egg, right? Another egg. Oh, it's Parker. What's up, Parker? Parker Nunez. Here is trivia number 3.
They disobeyed their father. Well, we don't know about the beast. Maybe he did.
I don't know. All Dogs Go to Heaven was a very special movie to me as well. Yes, it made me cry too. Okay, let's go back to this eye right here. Okay? Now, all I'm going to do for this eye is the shape that we made right here for his eye. All I'm going to do is make a smaller half version of that. Inside. Don't go up too high. Make it right in the middle. Okay? If you want, you could paint a line right down the center and do this. This is going to be filled in with black, so I'm not worried about that. Okay. How's everybody doing? If you have something like this, give me a thumbs up. If you need some time, let me know right now. I don't want to leave anyone behind. I want everyone to have a finished piece that looks up to their standards. I want you guys to have fun with this piece, okay? I don't want anyone to say, hey, you moved a little too fast. I don't want to hear anybody say that. I want to hear everyone say they had a great time and they painted this and they had a blast, okay? All right, guys. I always ask this every Friday night. What's for dinner? What are you guys having? Okay, I'm gonna wait. Hello, Emma. Hey, Cassie. Ty says he's good. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys just a little bit more time because someone said they need more time. You're good. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. I'm trapped in a studio full of paints, canvases, and books. Oh no, I have a horrible life. Comic books and art supplies. Whatever am I gonna do? Stuck in the studio. I'm gonna hang out with my friends here. That's what I'm gonna do, especially on a Friday night. That's what I look forward to doing.
Chicken mango salad? Habitat or habit? The habit.
Maya, you having steaks? Girl.
Oh, Zito, we already know you're having something yummy.
Okay. Parker Nunez says, what happened to Mickey and Minnie when they saw each other for the first time? Okay, let's do 20 more seconds on this right here, guys. Remember, basic shape. It's just an oval. It's not a circle. This is an oval right here. This is an oval. There's no circles yet. Then we made his body, which was like a triangle. Triangle shape. Okay. Remember, his ear is basically the same width of his head from top to bottom. And then you go here. And that's the same width or the same size of his ear. Then you're going to go up right here. You're going to use an angle this way. And line up this angle. And that's where the other ear is going to land. With about this much space right here for his... between the ears. Hello, Leah. Leah, you're going to have a great painting, right? Of course you are. Ceviche. You guys are making me all hungry. Why did I even ask what's for dinner? Chloe's having pizza. Hi, Chloe. It was really good to see a bunch of you yesterday when we gave out the art kits. Thank you, guys. While you guys are waiting, everybody should follow us on social media. So if you go to Instagram, ZP Publishing. If you're not on Facebook, ZP Publishing. That's our publishing page. Post a lot of event information on our third book that is taking forever to do, but it will get there. And of course, you can message us anytime on ZP Publishing. Okay, and also make sure that you tell everyone to subscribe to this channel, Hernandez Designs. I'm going to start doing some more tutorials, but in the meantime, let's keep doing these live paintings. These are a lot of fun. All right, let's move forward. I put water in my brush to just let it stay a little bit moist. A little bit of saturation on that brush so it didn't dry out. I'm going to make his other eyeball. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to go from here to here. I'm not going to make a line, but all I'm going to do is go from here to here to make my other eye. And it's going to go right where his nose is at, but it's going to be sort of a... His other eye is going to be right there, just like that. All right. Now, what I want to do is some little details before I go ahead and start filling this in. So watch this. Right where his ear meets his head, I'm going to go up a little bit and I'm going to paint his little hairs. There's one. They just look like little spikes. That's one. Let's do one more. Two. Just like that. Okay, let's go ahead and let's start filling this in. I'm gonna grab some darker blue.
Slow down just a little bit. The Moyer family.
All right, I'll give you guys just another second. Okay, if you guys are still catching up, okay, remember triangle, basic shapes, oval, size of his head, ear, same thing, okay? When you go to make this part of his leg, watch this. I'm going to go from his nose or his head down. That's exactly where his foot's going to be. Okay, ultimately, this is just a triangle composition is what we call this. If you look, the shape is just a triangle. All right. Are you guys ready now? Thumbs up if you're ready. We'll move along. Just want to make sure that everybody's caught up. Get some water here real quick.
I gave you water.
I have my hydro flask.
Oh.
I'll drink that water too.
These questions are too easy. I'm trying to find some tough ones.
All right, here we go.
No.
I'm going to get some darker paint. And I'm going to paint the shark fin back here of his ear. Now remember, we're going to have to layer this and layer this. I'm using my round brush. I'm painting really slow. I'm not a fast painter. Okay. Now you see all these little lines right here? It's a little bit of slop. What I like to do is get my brush and push down on it all the way and go really slow. Okay, to get rid of all those frayed lines. Just like that. Really slow. You're going to have to relax and just take your time. Just like that. Okay, so that's good. I want to leave that. Now what I want to do is I want to wipe off my brush. Don't rinse it out. Wipe it off on your paper towel. I'm going to grab a mixture right here of white and blue. And I want to make a decent amount because I'm going to fill his body in. And I don't want to run out of paint and then remix it. And then it's not the same color. So I want to make sure I have a decent amount. And this is probably a decent amount right here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. Now be careful not to go over these lines. Remember where these lines are at. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start up here first with his head. And I'm going to go ahead and paint and fill this in. And I'm going to do directional painting. I'm going to paint only in one direction. And because this is going into a circular direction, I'm going to paint only in a circle. Or I'm going to follow the circle this way. And then I'm going to get more paint. Because you will run out of paint. And I'm going to go under here. And I'm going to fill this in right here, just like this. And I'm going to leave that. It needs to dry. Okay, and I'm going to grab some more of this paint. And I'm going to move down. I'm going to fill this in, but I'm going to be very careful so I don't lose this line right here. I'm going to fill this in. I'm going to grab more paint. And I'm going to go down and start filling in his body. Grab more paint. Push down on your brush all the way and get all that paint out of there. Go in one direction, just like this. Don't paint this way, only go in this direction. Your paintbrush should be gliding across the canvas. If it feels sticky at any point, you need more paint or it's drying up. But it should be gliding real gently right across your canvas, just like this. When you see something that looks like that, that means you need more paint. That is a dry brush. We're going to use a dry brush technique in a little bit, but not right now. That's a big no-no. We want to make sure that there is more paint on our brush. Right now, what we're doing is painting in the stage called the awkward stage. It's going to look streaky. It's going to look a little bit unfinished. It's not going to look very rewarding or appealing. We need to get past that and say, I'm not worried about that. I'm just going to keep painting. Paint his little nub. And remember where that line is at. If you want, get some dark blue just to be safe. And paint that so you don't lose that. You can do the same thing with this. Grab some dark blue so you don't lose it. Okay. Grab some more of that regular mixture. Paint. We want to get rid of that white. We don't want to see any of that canvas. And when we do, we want to go back and clean it up. Magic erase it with some paint. Get some more paint. Fill this leg in right here. See how I'm painting in a curved direction? Don't paint this up and down. Follow that line you just made. There's a line we made right here. Paint in that direction, just like that. More paint. Paint that line over here, that's his foot. Just like that. Did Megan Burns get that one too?
Yes, she did.
Megan Burns.
She must really love Disney, huh?
All right, I'm going to give everybody just a few minutes to catch up and do this. Now, average wait time, boy, I sound like a ride operator at Disneyland, huh? Average wait time will be 90 minutes for this ride. 120 minutes. Okay, it should take about a minute and a half to 2 minutes for your paint to dry. That's why we're kind of going all over the place, because I want to be able to go up here and say, okay, this is dry now because we were working down here. Let's go back and paint this. But that is not the case because this is still wet up here. Okay, so everybody should have something that looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and pull this a little bit closer so that you can see it. All right.
You should see my next question, Mr. Chris. It's a good
Ooh,
one.
well, I'm going to let everybody catch up here, so I'm going to go look at that right now.
They get it fast, that means they're Googling it. Do you tell them no Googling?
Yeah.
Right? Do you know who it is?
I do know who it is, because that's one of my favorite movies.
I know it is. That's
Don't Google search the answers either. Shame on you if you do.
Because these are hard. I grew
Yeah.
up with this stuff, and I don't know all of these. I know some of them, but honestly, like the speed, I know that in order to answer as fast as they're answering, there's no way they could Google that, you know, so
Yeah.
please wait, someone said. So while they're waiting, another trivia question.
Another trivia question, then I'll give you a Disney fun fact.
There you go.
Ooh. Who's the last animated character seen at the end of the film? Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I know who it is.
That's a good guess. T-Y. I. I'll give you a hint. This is called
said-
Disney trivia.
She give you a hint. It's Disney trivia. Right? There's a lot of different cartoons in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There's Disney, Warner Brothers.
Did you know that it's the only featured-length film to have Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse together?
Yeah. All right, I'm going to continue painting. We'll wait for someone to get the right answer. I'm going to grab some more of this paint. I'm going to darken it up just a little bit more. I'm going to go right over this paint right up here that's dried. Ooh, now it's starting to look nice. Now don't beat the paint up. Once you paint it, leave it alone, let it dry up. Paint has to dry. Go real slow around your lines on the edges. You don't want to go outside the lines. That looks good like that. I like that. And I'm going to go back to this ear right over here, and I'm going to, because that was the first thing we painted, and that's completely dry right now. Paint some blue over that. All right. I'm going to add some more blue right up here. Get rid of this line that I put in for his head. Notice I'm painting in a curved direction still. And let's go back to this ear right here. And I'm going to go ahead and get some more of this darker paint. And I'm going to start going in and filling this in right here. I'm going to make a bigger batch right over here. Remember, I don't want it too dark. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to fill all this in with a second layer. If you have to do a third layer, go for it. It's pretty dry here in my studio right now. Normally I'd have the air conditioner running, but it sounds like a giant microwave, according to one of our friends. Because my mic picks up everything. Okay. I'm almost done with his body. And then I'm going to go over here and fill in his foot area. Well, this is coming out really good. Here's his neck. More of that paint we put in. I'm going to paint his leg. I'm going to give you guys time to catch up on this too. I'm just not going to jump ahead, okay?
Sergio Cruz said Lola Bunny, and he put Alexa help me, and I said, well, Alexa is incorrect.
Oh.
Bonnie got it. Wanna guess who?
Megan got it. Did she get it? Megan.
Well, she was answering.
Megan's my good luck charm
She
tonight.
was answering with Disney characters.
I know. So I'm going to go over all this blue that I just made. This is dry up here, so I'm going to add another layer of blue paint. It's really coming together. Now, I'm going to wipe my brush off. Okay, now, you guys have red. Please be very careful when you do this. I never add black to my paint to darken it. I'm going to add a tiny bit of red just for a little area. And we're going to use that for shadows later on. Watch how I do this. I'm going to rinse my brush out. Really good. Now, I always teach you guys how to rinse your brush out. Act like you're painting the bottom of your cup. And then rim it just like this. Get all that water out of there. It's a little bit blue. It's like Gatorade blue. I'm not concerned about that. When it comes out dark blue, that means there's still a lot of paint in there. And then what I like to do is I like to get my brush and I like to roll it on the paper towel so that I keep the point on it. Okay, this is how I take care of my brushes and my tools, my equipment. I keep them for a long time because of this. All right, come over here. Right here. I'm going to grab some of this blue. Watch this. I'm going to add a little bit of that red. Not too much because it'll turn purple. Watch this. Tiny bit of red. And it instantly darkened my blue. I might have to do a little bit more darker blue. Okay. And now I'm going to come right up here and watch this. I'm going to paint this. And look how much darker it is. Compared to the rest of this blue right here. I don't want it way darker, but I do want it like maybe a shade or two darker. Okay. Now, what am I going to do with this darker blue? Well, watch this. I'm going to grab this darker blue and I'm going to put a stripe right down here where his bottom is at. I'm going to put another stripe right where that bottom is and curve it. Okay. I'm also going to put that dark blue right here. So I put a mark right here with that dark blue, a mark right here, and a mark right here. It's just a curve. It's a simple curve that just goes here to there. It's going to curve around. Don't make it go through right here though. We don't want it right there. All right. Grab some more of that dark blue here. I'm going to put a little bit back here, the back of his head. Just like that. Oh, this is coming out great. I love it. Very nice. Okay, and I'm going to add some of this dark blue that we put right here for the back of his ear. Okay.
Parker says don't drink the Gatorade paint water.
Oh, I will. I'll probably end up doing that.
Thanks a lot, Parker. Now he's going to do it for sure.
I always drink the water just to show you guys. Now, this darker blue that I made, I'm going to put some of that right under here. Right under his eye right here. Here's where I'm at right now, you guys. I'm going to move this up right here. You see where I put my dark spots? I'll let you guys catch up.
Trivia while we're at it.
Trivia, and then here comes another fun fact.
I gave like 2 number 4s, so I'm jumping to number 6.
All right.
I'm sorry. It's like the one thing I'm in charge of, and I can't get it right. Who's home crafting? Can you ask who's home crafting?
Who is home crafting? YouTube username home crafting.
Yeah, because we're all home crafting right now. Because we're all home.
But I want to know who that is now, too.
I just want to know who Homecrafting is.
Hey, I'm 2 subscribers away from 400.
Me.
Somebody help me get up to 400.
That was sarcastic. Homecrafting said me.
Oh, me! I know who that is. Hey, what's up? Yeah, didn't recognize it.
Maria Torres. You know Maria Torres?
Christopher is back. Christopher is my friend on the East Coast from Georgia, friends with my friend Michelle. And man, can that fella paint. I love watching him paint, it's relaxing. I love talking to other artists and getting their insight on different things. Even though we have 2 completely different styles, I enjoy talking to him. He's an awesome guy, I love him. I wish you were close by, Christopher. We'd hang out all the time. All right, you guys doing okay? How's everybody doing? Good? Yes? Awesome. Oh, I need one more to get 400. Who's going to subscribe? Come on, do it, do it, do it. There. Go, subscribe, go. How many thumbs up do we have?
Only 22. We have
22. You guys, everybody give me a
48.
thumbs up.
How is that possible? We have 48 people watching. If everyone put a thumb up and liked the video, we
Everybody
should have
give us
40.
a thumbs up. If you're waiting, everybody has to give me a thumbs up right
And
now.
that he brings-
Not a thumbs up, like go click the little button with the thumb. That's a like. Go give me a like right now. Come on now.
Yeah, no, you have to like the video.
Yes, come on. Let's do this, guys.
Somebody gave you a thumbs down.
Who did?
Cassie?
Cassie who?
No, don't give us the little...
Cassie.
We don't want a thumb up
No.
in the chat. Guys, we don't want
Not
a
in the chat. Not in the chat. In the right below the screen, on the right part, bottom right part of the screen, there's the little thumbs up and the thumbs down. Give me a thumbs up.
We call it a like. You have to like the video, guys. Oh, we have 29 now.
Awesome. All right, let's go back to this. Christopher said, "A high tide raises all ships, brother." That is so true. It's so good to have friends like this. So good to have friends like you guys too. Especially at a time like this. It's you can never have enough support and love in your life right now, guys. I'm going to go over to this foot right here with that dark paint, and I'm going to sort of put a line right there as well. I like where this is going. This is cool. I'm going to put a line right here. And I'm going to put a line right here. And with the dark blue, let's paint his toes. He has like dinosaur looking toes. 1, 2. Yeah, let's put a third one in. We are officially at 400. Hey guys, we're at 400 subscribers and you guys were all live with me when it happened. That's awesome. I'm not a numbers guy. I just think it's fun to know that we got a lot of people hanging out and doing this. This is a lot of fun. Are you guys having fun? My line work? Yeah, well, I do pinstriping too. I have a steady hand, but I love your organic, loose style with your landscapes. They're really cool. Sometimes when your line work is too precise, it gets a little frustrating. It's not organic. It's like, just let it happen. And that's what I like about your stuff, Christopher. It's pretty awesome. All right, shall we get some darker blue? Let's get some darker blue. And all you're doing is adding a tiny bit of that red in there. And I'm going to go back into this ear since it's dried up, and I'm going to fill that in one more time. This is the third layer of paint for this section right there. All right. Now, I want to make a line where his ear is at right here. So I'm going to go down here with the darker blue. Okay, I can see it. You may not be able to see it, but it's right here. Here's what I'm going to do next. I want dark, dark blue. So I'm going to grab some more of this blue right here. No white. Don't mix any of that previous color in. I'm going to add a little tiny bit of red. Remember I gave out paint kits today, or the other day. And I told you guys, you're not going to use a lot of red. So don't stress if there's not a lot of red. We have a paint shortage too because paints are taking forever to come in. Okay, so here's where I'm at right now. Look at this. That's the dark that I want. Christopher said he's hula dancing with Dr. Pepper in one hand and coffee in the other. Nice. Hey, we got these California beaches that we can't go to right now. That's alright, one day. Eventually. Alright, let's make these spots on his back. Are you ready? Here's what it's going to look like. It's going to go up like this. That. Here's the next trivia question. And while that's going on, I'm going to mix up some more of that darker blue. Remember, if you want to darken your blue, don't make it purple, but just add a little bit of red in there. It'll turn to a darker, dark ultramarine type blue. Yeah, tell me about it. I need beach therapy too. I actually was finally going to go and just do senior ditch day with my kids because I never get to go. And I thought, you know what, I'll go with them. They asked me to go to the beach with them. Then all this happened, and here we are. Everything happens for a reason, guys, okay? Just remember that. I'm not saying that this is a great thing, but hey, let's face it, you guys are all probably doing things that you didn't do before, that maybe you didn't have time to do, and now here we are. Half of you are taking up painting. You're joining my army. I love it. My army's cool because I got plenty of toilet paper for my troops. Oh, Ashley got that one. Sterling Holloway. Okay, now here's my Disney trivia for that. Who plays the new Winnie the Pooh? And he sounds identical. He sounds identical to Sterling Holloway.
You were supposed to give us facts about Disneyland.
I have a question about who plays the new voice of Winnie the Pooh. And then I'll give you another fun fact about Disneyland. As soon as I put in these spots right behind Stitch's head. Now, these are going to go in this direction here. Here's how we're going to do this. They're little triangles that are going to go out this way. There's one. Here's two. And here's the third one right here. I might need to make that darker. I can show you how to make this darker. Yes, he does. Does the voice of Kaa, the snake in the Jungle Book. All right, this has been dried long enough. I'm gonna add some more of that darker blue into there because I want it pretty dark.
Is that correct, Chris? Mariana Vasquez?
No.
I don't even know this one.
Jim. Why am I giving the answer away? Rats. I'll just tell you guys. Jim Cummings.
Jim Cummings.
Jim
Yes,
Cummings.
He does. And he is so much like him.
Okay. I'm a little streaky right here. I'm not super happy with that, and I'm sure a lot of you might be thinking, you know, Hernandez, I'm a little bit streaky there too. So I'm going to rinse my brush out. And I'm going to give that one last hurrah before I move forward. Does anybody need a stretch break? Do you guys want to stand up and stretch? Stand up and stretch. Set your brush down, rinse it out. I want everyone to stand up and stretch. Stretch your hands. This is what I do when I paint too much. I pull my hands this way. And it releases all the tension in the muscles right here. So I'm going to pull my arm this way. I do it to both hands because the other day I was working on brakes on a vehicle. So my hands are always getting a workout. Where do polar bears keep their money? Can you please guess? Where do polar bears keep their money? Does it have anything to do with like a frozen account? Does it? Is that it? Scarlett, Christopher said it was Scarlett Johansson.
Oh no, for the live action Ka.
Oh, was it Scarlett Johansson? I don't know. I haven't seen the new one. Okay, I'm going to let you guys catch up right here. So I'm going to take a stretch break. You guys do the same. If you guys are caught up, remember, in the freezer... Oh, Christopher does what I do. Plumbing, cutting things, brakes, transmission work. Emily says that she wants to be the riddle girl, and everybody guesses. I'm going to stand up and stretch myself.
That would be really great, but I am keeping track of the winnings here. That's my only job.
So I stretch, and my good friend Dr. Hambrick always tells me to stand up and stretch, and a lot of times I don't listen to him. And I sit, and I sit, and I sit, and then I come in, and he says, yeah, you were sitting all day again, weren't you? But Dr. Hambrick saves my life. A snowbank?
I know Mr. Cruz is going to have something to say about this.
So here's what I want to talk to you guys about. One of the number one questions I get asked when people say you worked at Disneyland, well, first off is, hey, my friend worked there, and I tell them right away, I don't know who your friend is. I can tell you right now. When I was there was 10,000 employees in 1996, and I was only there for about a year. So Disneyland's a seasonal job. The next question everyone always asks me is there an underground city? Yes and no. It's not a city. It's a big warehouse with supplies. I have been down there. If you go over to Tomorrowland Terrace, I don't know what it's called now, but it's like where the Star Wars does their little... Is it Tomorrowland Terrace? Mm-hmm. So I had to get some supplies from my restaurant, and we actually went over to Tomorrowland Terrace, and there's a secret elevator inside Tomorrowland Terrace, and it took us downstairs. And when I got down there, it was a gigantic warehouse. It looked like a giant Costco, but maybe a half size bigger, so semi-trucks could drive in there. And I was on a golf cart, and we drove down this long corridor for just a couple minutes, and then we got out, and I could actually see Harbor Boulevard from down there, but it was pretty massive. It was like the size of a small town. And there was semi-trucks driving in and out of there. It was pretty cool. Lots of people walking around, lots of vehicles down in there. So yes, I've been down there. It's really neat. Okay, is everybody ready to move forward? Does everybody have this here? So I want to darken this. I want to put one more layer of paint on this. So I'm going to just remember that it was a mixture of some white and some blue. I don't want it too dark because we already got our darks in there. That'll conflict with it. Okay. And I can kind of look at the previous paint that was there and say, yeah, I think that's it. Here we go. I'm going to put paint here first. Oh, yeah. This was a good decision to do this. Look at that. I love this music, by the way.
Is Maria Torres related to Alexis Torres?
Not sure. I'm just going to go through, like right up here. I'm going to be very careful up here, though, because I already put my dark marks in. I like that. Okay, and I'm going to go right over here. Look at this. Now we are not dealing with the awkward stage anymore. It's starting to fill in real nice. And I'm just going to go ahead and start filling this all in. Now paint in this direction here. See how I'm painting in that direction? Don't just paint down. Follow these curves.
So Torres family, my next question for you is, would you like me to combine your points, or are you guys playing against each other?
I only know a Torres family from Oak Hills.
This is Alexis and Maria Torres.
Just gonna go right back through all this again. I like this. This is cool. I'm happy with it. There's some things I might touch up. Like I'm gonna go up here and just put a little bit of paint in right there. Now watch this cool trick. Get your paintbrush, don't rinse it out, wipe off as much paint as you can on your paper towel. This is called dry brushing. Okay, check this out. Before it dries up, this is completely dry. Watch what I do right up here. Dry brush. Dry brush. Right up at the top, right up there. Okay, now what I'm going to do, this paint is the same as this paint, so I want to grab a little bit of white, and I want to do the same thing. I'm going to grab my paper towel, and I'm just going to wipe off as much white paint as possible. Now I'm going to go right up here and watch what I do. I'm going to follow this curb, and I'm going to do this. This is called dry brushing. It's got a little bit of a streaky look to it. It's pretty cool. It's very nice looking. With that same tone of paint, I'm going to do the same thing again. Dry brush. So I'm going to grab some white paint and I'm going to wipe off as much paint on my paper towel because I want my brush dry for when I dry brush. And I'm going to dry brush right up here. I might do some dry brushing right here. I'm going to do some dry brushing right here. And I'm certainly going to do some dry brushing right where his curve is on his tail. Now all you have to do is you go around and start going around these curves like right here and put a dry brush mark right there. Put a dry brush mark right where his arm is at, right here. If you want to add more, add some more, but wipe off as much as you can on the paper towel. Some of you are going to put straight paint on that and you're going to say, no, it doesn't have that look because you didn't dry brush it. Okay, we are not on the nose yet. We want to get this all done. The reason why I'm not doing the nose yet is because I knew we were going to do some lighter paint. I want to save all my dark sections for last. Because let's face it, if you clean your brush out really well after you're done painting with dark paint, there's a possibility that you could have some dark paint in here. And then if you go back to light paint and that goes through, it's going to make a mess. You're not going to be happy. Let's dry brush a little bit more right here. Put a little bit more right here. I want a little bit more right here. I like that. We'll throw a little bit right here. A little bit right here. Look at this. I'm happy with this. This is cool. Anybody have any questions? Anybody, you want a minute to catch up on this? Let me put some dry brush right here. Not too much, so just enough. All right, I'm gonna rinse my brush out. If you have to change your water out, you could change your water out. You don't necessarily have to right now. How's everybody doing? I will give you a few minutes to, or not a few minutes, I'll give you about a minute to catch up right here. And then we're going to fill in the eye right here. We're going to do this next. And then we're going to save the black for last. Okay.
Yeah, so my son actually played Chip, not in the Broadway musical, but the High Desert Center for the Performing Arts cat production of Beauty and the Beast. And so the Broadway musical Beauty and the Beast has a special place in my heart because of that. And I actually supplied the musical with the book that Belle
red in all of the performances. So in order to answer this question correct, you have to tell me not just the movie book, but you also have to tell me the musical book. It's actually a really great book, one of my favorites. So some of you have the first half of the question correct. And now you need the second half. See, I'm a teacher and I found out I need to ask more challenging questions. You guys were getting them way too fast because, well, one thing is Google can answer them really, really fast for you. The Google can answer them very quickly for you. But, so I had to up my game. Yay. And the cool thing about the last trivia question, King Louis was played by Louis Prima, and one of the trumpet players who played a monkey in the Jungle Book, we actually got to meet him, Mr. Chris and I did.
Saxophone player.
Saxophone player, sorry. Sam Butera. And we know someone who plays for Louis Prima Jr.'s band right now, which is cool. And Louis Prima is King Louis in the Jungle Book. He's a living, or not living anymore, but he's a legend. So, somebody said Little Women. That's a great book, but it's not the right book that I'm looking for. So I'm looking for the book read to Beast from Belle, by Belle, during the Broadway musical version of Beauty and the Beast. Come on, guys. It's a classic. There are movies after it and television shows after it. It's awesome. Do the nose, please. They just don't like seeing Stitch with a clear nose. So they're like,
we're gonna be there in just a minute.
begging.
We're gonna let's do this. All right, guys, that concludes our painting. Thanks for painting with me. Just kidding. You're like, no, do the nose. Okay, before I do the nose, since we have this paint out, we have to do this. My brush is re-wet again. My round brush. I'm going to grab on my palette. I want to make sure that the paint that I'm about to paint his eye socket with is not this paint right here. It's going to be way lighter. And now watch what I do with my brush. I'm going to roll my brush around so that I've got a nice tip on it. You don't want to be painting with your brush frayed. Okay, so this is his skin now. This is going to be his eye socket. I'm happy with that. That's cool. We don't want it too light. Okay. And I'm going to come right over here and I'm going to paint real slow right along those lines. Very slow. Just relax your hand. Paint right along those lines just like that. That's going to have to be layered a couple times. Be patient. Someone said paint the nose now. You are the type of person that likes to eat your dessert before your veggies, huh? That's okay, so do I. Now I'm going to go over to this side. Do the same thing. Right there. Very slow when you paint this. Take your time. Relax your hand. Okay. Now, while that's drying, I'm actually not bad. That's not bad. I'm okay with that. But I'm going to go ahead and rinse my brush out again. The next colors we're going to need for this part here, we're going to use red, yellow, and white. Are you ready? Don't touch this white, or just leave this white alone right here. Let's go over to this side of our pellet. I don't want to put anything in there that's blue because it's going to turn green. Don't want to do that. So I'm going to do a little spot right here, a little section, because it's just for his ear. You don't need a ton of paint. Just a little bit of paint. I want to grab some yellow. A tiny bit of yellow. And I want a little bit of red. Tiny bit of red. All three of these little dots right here. Bloop. Just like that. Okay. Watch how I do this. You cannot have any blue in your brush. So rinse your brush out as best you can. Because if that blue touches the yellow, it's going to turn green. We don't want that. Okay, so watch what I do here. I'm going to make a very unique color. I'm going to teach you guys how to mix paint right now. I'm going to teach you how to mix this color up. Are you ready? Turn my brightness up. Right up here. Okay, I'm going to grab some white. Don't mix right into the white. Always pull your paint off to the side like this. I'm going to grab a little tiny bit of yellow. And I'm going to grab a little tiny bit of red. And I'm going to start from there and say, okay, it needs to be a little bit more red. So I'm going to grab a little bit more red. Okay. And I want to add some more yellow into it. So it's not like a pink, it's supposed to be like a peach type color. This is how you make skin tones actually. I don't know if you guys can see that okay. I'm going to grab this paint right here and I'm going to go ahead and fill in this section right here very carefully. Okay, very carefully fill that in. I think it needs to be darker. So I'm going to add some more red into that. Some more yellow. Always leave a little space that you just painted off to the side so you can see if you actually darkened or if you stayed the same or if you lightened too much. That's what I like to do normally. It's how I keep track of my progress. This seems better. I'm going to go back over this because it's a little too light. There we go. I'm happy with that. Slow. That's an animation principle. Slow in, slow out. All right. I think it needs to be a little bit more darker, so I'm going to add some more. This is how you adjust. It's part of painting. I think that's better. Just the top part. I'm going to leave the bottom part that lighter color actually. Oh, there we go. There you are, Peter. Yeah, that's what I like right there. That's cool. I like that. Good, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to rinse my brush out really good. I want to go back and repaint this so I can paint the nose, because that's what everybody wants. Look what I did. I folded my paper towel in half because there was too much blue on it. I know that paper products are a little scarce right now, but when you're painting, it's really not worth all that time to dip your paint accidentally into some blue when you've got white or yellow. So either throw it away and get a new one or just fold it in half. I'm going to go back to this color right here because I want to put one more layer on that eye. There we go. Yep, way better. And right here. Do some dry brushing. Let's see how this looks. Rinse your brush out really, really good. The next thing I'm going to do, here we go. I'm going to paint his nose. I'm going to grab this red right here, put it off to the side. I'm going to grab some blue, and I want to mix the two together. Yeah, here we go. Depends on what type of purple you want. I kind of want it kind of dark. I'm going to add a little bit of this color in. This color that we just made. Yeah, why not? What the heck. There. Here we go. Here's that purple I just made. Let's do this. Very carefully. Very slowly. Now this is definitely going to have to be layered. You don't want to just call this and say, yeah, it's good, it's fine. Take your time. We're here to paint and relax and have fun. I had a paint party I did once, and a gal walked in. The first thing she said was, are we going to be done with this in like an hour and a half? Because I have to leave at a certain time. And I told her, I honestly would reschedule, because this is therapy for a lot of people. This is fun. You don't put a time stamp on fun and relaxation. Let's let that dry up a bit. Keep that purple right there though. But what we could do, this is pretty dry. I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry up. And while that's drying, I'm gonna rinse my brush out.
I have to do a 9.5 question because nobody got my Disney Broadway musical question. It's okay. I forgive you for not going to see the musical 15 times like I did because my son was in it. That's no fair. You're an artist. Chris. Okay, you're...
Well, no. In Christopher's defense, Christopher is not an animator. He is a fine artist. So that's fair game.
Okay, I'm giving a point to Christopher.
Christopher's awesome.
And he spelled it correctly. It's C-E-L-S. There's not two L's in it.
Yep.
That's the teacher in me.
I have cell sheets here.
No, absolutely.
Funny story. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an animator. I was 13 years old. I got money that I worked for the week. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to go buy a cell sheet and I'm going to make my own cartoon. So I went to the store. I went to the drafting store in Uptown Whittier. I purchased a cell sheet for like $4 or whatever it was. They gave me the cell sheet. I didn't know which one was the cell sheet. So I grabbed the cell sheet, which was clear plastic, and I threw it in the trash and kept the paper that it came with because I thought the paper was the cell sheet. So I had no idea. But a cell sheet is a very transparent sheet of paper, or it's a piece of plastic. And what they do is they'll paint right over it. They'll have a background done, ready to go. And they'll lay these cell sheets on top of the background, take a picture with the camera, pull off the cell sheet, put another cell sheet on there, and little by little it's moving. That's how animation works. You want to see how I work? Check this out. I'm going to grab some black paint, put it off to the side right here. So we're going to get down and we're going to paint his eyes. Cellophane, yes, that is correct. Here's my paintbrush. I'm gonna grab the tip of my brush. I want paint on the tip. I don't want it completely covered because I want to be able to shape this eye right here. Now watch this. This little shape that we made, it's just a smaller version of the eye right here. Take your time when you do this. It's not a race. And then you could adjust and reshape. I obviously need to make his eye bigger. Oh, there's Stitch. He is so cute, isn't he? But he is a little troublemaker, as many of you know who have ever seen the movie. Now I'm going to go right across the way, and you could barely see his other eye, but I'm still going to paint it in. It's somewhere around right here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, with very little paint on the brush, I'm going to roll it around until I get a fine point on this brush. Very, very fine point. And I'm going to make his eyebrow. Let me rinse this out. Something's going on with my brush. It's fraying. When your brush frays out and it starts to split open, rinse it out and wipe it really good, and then roll it around. And it returns back to its normal shape. Grab some black paint. I got a nice point on this, almost like I can use this to paint and write letters with it, numbers, whatever. All I'm going to do is follow this line from right here to right here. Little eyebrow. That's going to be tough for some of you, so take your time when you do that. And whatever I do on one side, I'm going to go right directly across the way, and I'm going to put one right over here. And then I'm going to throw another one right behind here. And I'm going to stop right there till you guys catch up to that point. How's your stitch coming out? Are you guys happy with it? Some of you saw this and said, Hernandez, no way. But if you want to teach me how to do it, I'll try. And some of you are sending me pictures. I'm looking at some of them saying, oh, see, you could do it. You just had to believe in yourself. I don't think I have to layer that again. I'm going to let that dry. But what I do want to do is I'm going to grab some blue paint without mixing or rinsing out. And I've got this dark blue thing going on here. Now I want to make some outlines. You don't have to do this, but I highly recommend it. You're going to go from here to there. Do your best. If it doesn't come out straight or perfect, that's fine. We're doing this. This is fun. We're here to have fun. And I'm going to outline this right here, but I'm going to bring my line in closer right there. Steady hand, relax. Takes practice. I'm not setting you up to fail. I promise. But I do want you to learn that when you paint with me, I want you guys to relax and learn to just love what you're creating. Don't be too hard on yourself. Then it's not fun. My high school kids are awesome. They'll make a piece, and instead of being overcritical on themselves, they're just laughing. They're like, oh my gosh, Mr. Hernandez, look at this. And I'm like, you know what? I'm so proud of you. That really made me happy. And I'm going to basically just go around and start outlining, not all of it, but I'm going to outline this right here. Okay, here's where I'm at. All right. Let's outline a little bit more. I'm going to put an outline right here. I don't want super thick paint on this. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to put an outline right here. Right here. Now don't go all the way through. Stop right there. Don't continue this all the way down. Leave that blank right there. Now let's go down here. Now don't paint that. Leave that blank. That must be blank. I'm gonna go down here. Paint that right there. Paint his little bum bum. I'm gonna paint a little bit down here. Grab a little bit more paint. Now, let's paint his tail. All we're doing is painting a backwards C. I might put a little bit here on this ear.
Cassie Hoban asks, what color are you using to outline?
What I did was I got some black, Cassie, a little bit of black, and then I grabbed a little bit of blue, and I made a little concoction right here off to the side. You don't want to outline it with black, and please, guys, I know some of you are thinking, I'm slick, I'm gonna go get a Sharpie. No, please don't outline this with a Sharpie. It will wear off after a few weeks. As soon as you get a little bit of humidity in your house, it's gonna run. It's a bad news. So I would say 70% blue, 30% black. Mix that up. And that's what I'm using to outline. And water the paint down. You don't want it on there super thick. There, and then I'm going to go right here. See how I just painted this? I overlapped this, but I didn't fill that in right there. So Sharpie is not even a true black. When you outline things with Sharpies, it has like a purple look to it. It's just not, it's no good. Plus, a Sharpie can't get into the canvas like paint can. Paint is all water-based, and it's paint, so it's going to seep into all the little holes and the little pits in the canvas. A Sharpie won't do that. It has a bad look to it, so please don't outline with Sharpie. I'd rather see you guys do something like this that doesn't look absolutely perfect than to see it perfectly outlined with a Sharpie, because I don't like Sharpies. We sign books with Sharpies and they make me nauseous. They make me they make my eyes irritated really bad after signing books for a few hours. So I don't like them. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to put a little outline right there and right there. Okay, I'm not going to outline the nose, but I am going to go back to that here in a second because we need to put another layer of that purple that we made on the nose because it's completely dry now. I'm going to give you guys a second to do that.
Who is T-Y-E?
Ty?
Is that who that is? Ty?
Ty?
Ty who? Do I know who Ty?
Behrenz?
Just wondering. Okay.
Alright, here's where we're at. I'm going to kind of hover this around a little bit. The fun part's coming up right after this. Actually, this was fun for me. This was cool. This is dry. Here's what I'm going to do before I paint the purple. Get your brush, flip it around. You're going to grab the bottom part of your brush and you're going to pop it in some white. Just like this. And you're going to go right over to the eye right here and you're going to put a dot, one dot right there. And you're going to put another small one right up here. And you're going to leave it alone. That's the reflection. Then you're just going to wipe your brush off. See that? Made a nice, perfect little circle. So you didn't have to paint that on. Little illustrator trick.
Oh, it's Tyler, and he is Oak Hill's graduating class of 2020.
Tyler. It's one of my students, maybe?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Tyler.
Maybe a friend of Megan?
I probably know him. For sure I do. Okay. Let's grab some blue again and some of that red. And let's make that purple concoction. Let's throw a little bit of that white in there. And let's go back to the nose. And Stitch is officially done. I'm going to go ahead and rinse my brush out.
Oh, it's Adam and Hope Steed's nephew.
Oh, him, Ty.
Tyler.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know Tyler. Yeah.
Well, you got the point, Tyler. Good job.
Here's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to grab some yellow. This is all dried up. I'm going to paint this background yellow right now. Okay. So I'm going to pull some yellow right here. And I'm going to use some white. This is all dried up. I'm good with that. I'm going to switch from my round brush to my flat brush. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wet it first. And I'm going to dry it off. If your water's too blue, rinse your water out right now. In fact, let's all do that together. Look at my water. I don't want to compromise that yellow and turn it green. I'm going to rinse it out real quick. While everybody else is doing that, I want to let you guys know too, we have had a couple of people help us with some supplies. I have sold a good portion of my artwork to pay for these paint kits. If you guys would like to help us out, if you had a lot of fun, I don't want to charge for these paint sessions. They are 100% free, always. We do give out kits. Amy and I have been putting paint kits together. We've put together over 400 kits for the kids. If you guys feel the need to help us, or if you'd like to help us, we'd greatly appreciate it. Here is the information for my Venmo and my PayPal. So again, these are 100% free. However, we've been trying to help all the kids in our community, and it's really tough because we can't do it on our own. And of course, we've gotten lots of help, but we're still in dire need of some supplies, you guys. So if you guys want to help us out, we would greatly appreciate it. We're doing all that we can. They are not free. They're certainly not free. They do cost, and then the shipping takes forever. So it's tough, but it's worth it as long as we get to have the kids all paint along with us. It's a lot of fun. So I will leave this up here for a second. If you guys want to give anything to help out, even if you can just, if you don't have funds and you just want to share and pass this information to someone else, we'd greatly appreciate it. So again, we are not a business. We're not making any money off of this. In fact, when we're done with these paint nights, we jump right on the computer and we start ordering more paint from Blix and from Michaels out of our own pockets. So we, of course, don't mind. But it is a group effort, and everyone's been trying to help out as much as they can. So if you can help us out, awesome. We'd greatly appreciate that. Let's get some yellow on this canvas now. You guys ready? I'm going to grab half yellow and half white, and I'm just going to randomly start putting paint all over this canvas right here. I'm going to paint X's, and once I paint over something, I'm going to move on. I don't want to touch any more paint on that. If you have cool patterns in the background from this, leave it. That's awesome. Check this out. How cool that's coming out. Paint the sides, paint the tops. Yeah, huge shout out to our friends that have been helping us with these paint kits, who've been, every little bit helps. Someone gave a few bucks and said, hey, this is all I've got. I'm really sorry. And I said, that's totally fine. We're in some hard times right now. We want everyone to have fun and enjoy this. I will always paint along with you guys for fun. No charge. It's just what I like to do. Like I said, we got all these paint kits and we've been putting them together for the last month and a half, 2 months, and we enjoy it. We enjoy seeing the happiness it brings to the families when they see that their children have something that they can do and not just sit around the house. And I certainly appreciate it because I'm an artist, and I wish that I could have had cool paint kits like that when I was a kid. Okay, watch how I do this. I'm going to get my flat brush and I'm going to go real slow along the bottom. And just follow that. And I want to get rid of that wave, so I'm just going to brush back and forth. Fresh paint. Follow these lines real careful. Slowly follow those lines. I've got a new little helper.
Who's your new helper?
Her name is Adela. And she loves my hair and my voice. And she is an amazing kid. She loves to paint. And I'm really happy that our kids are staying busy like that. When I see these posts, I sit there, I can't answer all of them. It's a little tough for me, but it's very emotional for me. I'm sorry, guys. I told you I'm a crier. I don't mean to be, but it's just how I am. My high school kids know it when they see me backstage at graduation. No, Mr. Hernandez, stop. But when I read all your posts and see all your pictures, it's very touching. It's awesome. I really appreciate that, you guys. I appreciate that you're spending your Friday night with me. Watch how I'm going through this real slow. See how I got my brush? I'm painting sideways with it. I'm not painting this way. I'm painting sideways just to outline it. Then I'll get my brush and go through here very slowly. That's the key to painting this right alongside your characters. Paint real slow. Alright, I'm going to add some more. Now, this I want layered a couple times. Dark, lighten this up a little bit. Oh, sorry about that. That's not bad. Okay. It's a little bit more yellow than what's on the screen. Just trying to mess with my camera settings, but I'm just going through very carefully and very slowly. And then you could make your X's again. Bless you. And I'm going through just like this. Okay. We're almost there, guys. I'm going to go right over here. Real slow. I want to see everybody moving their hands really slow. Slow. Got some music in the background that's making you go slow. Relax. The first Walt Disney Studios was where, though? You got the, where's the Walt Disney Studios now? Miss Hernandez, Miss Amy.
Well, I'm going off of trivia.
I know, but this is added for fun.
And
where was the first Disney Studios at?
Hasbro or Parker Brothers says Burbank, California.
Well, yeah, that's where it was at. The first, this one right here, this Disney Studios right here. The Walt Disney Company is in Burbank. But where was the first Walt Disney Studios? And why is it not there anymore? How come they're in Burbank?
Doesn't it have something to do with where Walt lived? Like what city he lived in?
Yeah. It's off the 110 freeway, Southern California, on the way to, well, it's in Los Angeles. Glendale, California.
Do you have Zelle, Mr. Chris?
We don't use Zelle because it doesn't work with our bank. We tried it, remember? This is cool. I like this. I'm just going to paint the tops and the sides real quick, and then we're going to paint our flower. Going left-handed and right-handed. Okay. I'm cool with this. I like this. I just want to do one little cool thing. I'm going to add a little bit of red to this yellow right here. I want sort of a darker orange in some of these areas, like reddish. Yeah, that's cool like that. I'm cool with that. Incorporate some of that orange that I just made over here. Yeah. All right. I know a man with a wooden leg named Smith. What's the name of his other leg? Bum, 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 bum. That is one of my favorite movies too. I love Mary Poppins. Okay, I'm rinsing my flat brush out. Okay, we're gonna make a flower. I'm gonna use my round brush for this. I don't want to make it look like, yeah, I can do this, it's easy. I want to make it seem like it's doable. Okay, so I'm gonna add some red right here. And I'm gonna get some new white. Don't use your old white, it's been drying, it's been sitting drying. No good. Okay, here's what I got. I want a pinkish color. So I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to incorporate the red very carefully. So I'm going to grab some white, and I'm not going to touch that blue, and I'm going to incorporate just a little bit of red first. Okay. It's a little bit lighter. I want a little bit more. Don't add too much. And I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow. I think that would be cool. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Ooh, that's cool. Don't overmix this because all these cool colors that are in here, they're really awesome. They're really unique when you do this. Okay, here we go. I'm going to paint a flower right up here. Here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to start right up here. And I'm going to paint a petal going out this direction. This needs to get lowered, so here I'm going to raise my camera up. There's one. Here's another one right here. And all you do is push on your brush. See how I push on my brush and it opens up the belly of that brush? And just spin your brush with your fingers just like this, and it makes circles. Okay? Brush movement with your fingers. You put little pressure on the brush, it makes a line. You push down on that brush real good, it'll open that sucker up. Okay, here we go. Watch this. We go here. Push down on the brush. It looks like a mop right now. And then I'm going to twirl the brush around. Just like that. What can run but not walk? This is the round brush. This is what we're using. Okay, I'm going to make another petal right up here. Now remember, ultimately, you want the petal to be a nice circle. You don't want a petal here and then another petal way down here. You want it to be all uniformed. So I'm going to put my next petal right here. And look at it, I'm going to push down on that brush and real slow paint that right over there, just like that.
Wait, someone needs time.
Chloe.
She needs time.
Okay, Chloe. Remember, you push down on your brush. You're going to start thin right in the center, and you're going to push down on your brush. If you do that and just pull your brush up, that's the mark that it makes, just like that. But I'm not making it that way. I'm going to go up, push on the brush, spin the brush around a little bit, and bring it right back in. And then some of these flower petals right here need to be layered, so I'm going to add another layer of pink paint in there. Are you guys having fun? All right. Now, this is starting to dry a little bit. I want to wipe my brush off. Don't rinse it out. Wipe your brush off on your paper towel. Just like this. And I want you to grab some whiter paint. Sorry about that. And I'm going to come right up here and I'm going to paint these little highlights of these petals, but don't paint them straight. Paint them arched like this. See how they're going in this direction? They're kind of curving down. And then when you get to the other side, they go that direction. So they're going to go... Here, let me throw some more white paint on here. This. Okay, see how I'm going this direction with that white? This is going to go here.
Mr. Chris, read the question.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
No, the question.
I just saw this right now. What
it?
is the name of the Disney television series that shows kids that science can be fun?
I put this one up for me because what do I always say?
Science is my jam. Science is my jam. Okay, this is drying a little bit. I just rinsed my brush out. I don't want straight red, but I want somewhat of a darker red. So I'm going to grab, not pure red, but I'm going to grab a darker red. And I'm going to go and just outline my flower as best I can. Okay, and grab more paint. Grab more paint. Grab more paint. Grab more paint. Just outline your flower just like that. Did Megan get it right?
No. Sorry. But she is like in it to win it, let me just tell you.
Bye guys, some of you have to jam. Science is my jam, and some of you have to jam. Okay, now with that same red, I'm going to paint this in the center. I'm going to paint like a little star in the center. With that red. Okay. I'm going to wipe my brush off. I think I'll raise this up a little bit. Yes. There we go. Let me straighten this up a little bit. There we go. Was it Bill Nye the Science Guy?
It is.
Oh, Megan Burns is on fire.
Fire!
Fire. Megan Burns. Okay, here's what I'm going to do next. Check this out. I'm going to grab some red. Not pure red. I'm going to mix a little bit of that white in. Watch how I do this. I want a line that goes from here to here. And I don't want it straight. I want it curved. So I want it to go from here to there. Now, without rinsing the brush out, I'm going to wipe off the brush just a little bit. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab some yellow. And all I'm going to do is just pop some yellow on this. Get the brush and just pop it on there like that. Pop, 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 pop. I'm good with that. I like that. Here's what I did. I'm going to rinse my brush out because I'm going to use green. What's that? You don't have green? Well, guess what? We're going to make green. How do we make green? We use 2 colors to make green. We use 2 primary colors. A primary color is a color that cannot be mixed or made. It has to be that color. We're going to make green by mixing blue and yellow. I'm going to grab some of this blue that's left because it's not super dried up. And I'm going to grab some yellow. And I just made green. But I want it more yellow, so I'm going to add a little bit more yellow to this to make it like a yellow-green. You guys see that? Blue and yellow make green. And I'm going to go right up here and I'm going to paint leaves. They just look like triangles. Those are definitely going to have to be layered. They're a little streaky, but that's okay. We're good. And I'm going to paint one down here. Be very careful you don't get any of that wet paint. Flower is done. We need it to air out a little bit. Tell you what, while that's airing out, this flower is all done. Let's write our special message. The word of the day, Ohana. Ohana means what's Ohana mean? All right, here we go. Ohana means family, and family does not get left behind. So I'm going to go ahead and paint Ohana using red, maybe like an orangish red. So I'm going to grab this red here, and I'm going to grab some yellow. I'm going to roll my brush around because I'm going to write words. If you don't want to write this, if you're afraid to, just do it, please. Yes, Maria got it. Ohana means family. Carrie got it. Yes, Cassie got it. Thank you, you guys. Nobody gets left behind, right, Ty? Awesome. I'm going to write Ohana from here to here. Watch how I do this, you guys. I'm going to make a circle. Everybody make a circle. All you're doing, don't be afraid. It's just a paintbrush. You're using the same concept and principles of using a pencil or pen. You just have to learn how to control it a little bit. And what you want to do is roll it around till you get a nice point on this. Okay? That's awesome. That makes me happy. I love that. Ohana means family. Family does not get left behind. Let's do this. Right over here, after you made that circle, we're going to make a little tail that goes from here to here, like a 6. Actually, I want to make mine a little bit thicker on the bottom here. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make a curved line that goes from here right there. This is the H that we're making. Christopher put Last place. Christopher, you're awesome, man. You make me laugh and you make me happy. My friends all make me happy. Okay, let's make another curved line that goes this direction. And I'm going to go up like this. And I'm going to curve this around a little circle right here, just like that. And it's going to swoop up and connect there. And let's make the A. I'm not going to make it all the way down like I did with the H. I want it to be right on this area here with this O. So I'm going to make a curved line that goes from here to here. Well, if your stitch looks like Eeyore, just tell everyone you did a Winnie the Pooh paint party. But I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I'm pretty sure you're just being overcritical with yourself. I'm sure it looks totally fine.
This pose of Stitch looks very similar to something Eeyore would do.
Yeah.
If you think about it, he's bluish.
You back this up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go back over here. Now, this part of the A is going to go here, and it's going to curve down. And I'm going to put a line. I want all my crosses for my A's or whatever. As a graphic designer, I'll tell you, they all should be lined up. Remember that kindergarten paper you got back in the day that had the line? And you couldn't go above the fence. The fence was that dotted line. Well, we don't want to go above the fence. We want to stay right in the fence. That's something Mrs. Thompson taught me, Jack's kindergarten teacher. There's an A. Well, I'm having a lot of fun doing this, you guys. I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit nervous. I don't know why. But, yeah, I don't know why. I always have fun with you guys. This is like a highlight for my week. I love painting with you guys and answering all your questions and being a little silly every so often. I think it's cool. It's like being myself. I like that. I'm going to make an N. So I'm going to make a curved line that goes here to here. It really is an Eeyore pose. You're right, Christopher. I mean, it could be Eeyore. And I'm going to make another line that goes from here to here. You see how when you paint letters, you just take one part of the letter at a time. You don't look at it as like, that's an H, I have to paint an H. You look at it as there's a line, there's a curve, and there's another line. Okay, go back to the basics of when you learned how to read and write. You didn't look at a whole paragraph and say, that's what this says. You took every word, one word at a time. It's the same with painting letters and numbers. Here's my other N. And now, here's the tough part. You have two letters that are the same. You have to try to match them as best you can. So, this A, the style of this A, I want to do that here. So I'm going to go over here and tell myself that I want the curved line to be here to here for this A. See, it's got this curve right here. And I want this line to go from here to here. Right? Just like that. And be confident when you paint. I wasn't confident right there. That kind of stinks. Be a little confident. Go in there and brush it. And if it comes out not exactly how you wanted, who cares? As long as you had fun doing it. Remember this line we made right here? Same line right there. Now look at, I put a little tail right there. Let's do that right here. And they're pretty close. I am very happy with this piece. I do want to fix this real quick before I sign this piece and say goodbye to you guys, which I don't want to. Let's make that green real quick and get rid of that. Let's be done with it. Because that's really going to tie in the piece and make it like, oh wow, it's really, really nice. Let's get some yellow green here. There. Right there. And that is a wrap. All right. Is that fun? I want to sign this piece. I'm going to sign it with red.
No, do green.
All right.
Green's my favorite color.
Green is Mrs. Hernandez's favorite color. I'm going to sign it with some green right now. You guys could initial it. You could write your whole name. If you want to put me to shame, you could write a sentence out. If you really want to like show off to me, you'd write something on the bottom with a paintbrush like, I painted this on Friday, May 22nd with Mr. Hernandez. If you could paint that with a paintbrush, wow, I'd be super impressed. There it is. Bye, Zito. I'm going to post a picture of Zito and I posing together with the painting he won for winning the trivia. Who won the trivia this time, Mrs. Hernandez?
You didn't see?
No.
Oh, you gotta scroll back. You gotta see it for yourself. It is a very proud moment for Oak Hills High School.
I know who it is.
For Oak Hills High School, soccer player, senior,
Defender.
graduating class 2020.
That would be Miss Megan Burns. Megan Janelle Burns. Oh. I love you, Megan. I love all you guys. Alright, I'm done. Oh yeah, Christopher, I have like 1 or 2 designated brushes, and when I get a little brave and try to grab another brush, yeah, I can do this, and I'm like, yeah, no, I shouldn't have signed with that brush. Looks like I finger painted it. Anyways, guys, here we go. Here's the final piece. Here's my flower. I'll be painting as long as I can for you guys, I promise. So, big shout out to everybody who shared. We had like 47 people who shared this paint night tonight, including our local radio station Y102, which is awesome. Colleen and Preston are awesome people. They are so involved with the community, and we appreciate that. Hey, the best help that we get is just word of mouth from you guys. If you guys had fun, tell your friends, your family to subscribe to this channel.
Also, there's still 43 of you guys viewing. Please like the video. Under the video, it has a little thumb up and a thumb down. Click the thumb up for us so that we can get as many likes on this video as possible.
Yeah, we want to get more likes, get more traffic this way. I just want to keep everybody entertained. Amy and I, we're all about our community and our kids. You guys know that. We publish children's books. We love to go to schools and do events for them. We really are for our community and our kids. And I'll do anything that I can in my power, and Amy will do this, tell you that she'll do the same. We're just here for the kids and for our families. Hey, someone did it for me when I was a kid, when I was going through tough times, and I'll never forget that. And anybody else who's helped us out, we really couldn't have done this without your help. We have friends who are constantly asking to help, to come over and hang out with us, and to come in my studio and maybe at least pass kits out to people when we meet up. But anyways, you guys, once again, I'll put this up one last time. I'm not bugging you guys for this, but I do get text messages right after saying, hey, what's your information? 100% of these proceeds, I forgot to change it to 400. We're at 400 kits now.
Actually, 450.
450. We're at 450 kits that we've given out for the kids in our community. It's a real joy to see the children and the families walk up and say, thank you so much. Like, that's all we want. We just want them we just want to know that they've got something to do on a Friday. Okay, so, and on top of that, hey, you guys will always remember this. No matter what. You'll look back at this and say, you know what? I had something to do on Friday nights. I painted with Mr. Hernandez and Mrs. Hernandez. And that's why I'm in art school right now, making a ton of money, because I learned from Mr. Hernandez. Right? So, anyways, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and take this off and go back to this right here. Thank you so much, you guys. Let me take off my hover cam here, my dirty palette. Thank you so much, you guys, for painting along with us. We had a lot of fun as always. Give us a like, a thumbs up. Tell your friends, your family, anybody else to subscribe to this, please. Follow our social media at ZP Publishing. And just spread the word, you guys. Let's get more people to paint with us. Let's build our army. Let's build the paint army. Okay? So, from Apple Valley, California. You guys know where we live now. Everybody knows where we live. See everybody at Target and Winco all the time. Come on now. From the high desert to our friends on the East Coast in Georgia, Texas, all over the place. Oh, we have someone painting in England. I forgot. We had somebody painting in England with us. That was awesome. My friend Will's niece. Yeah, Canada, England, Germany. Awesome. Let's keep this going, you guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Memorial Day. Remember, it's not about barbecues. Let's honor our veterans. Let's honor those people who gave the ultimate sacrifice. And I certainly do. We appreciate our veterans and we love them. And my great uncle was the first Hispanic to receive the Medal of Honor in World War I. He lost his life at the age of 19, so he was a private in the Army. So I most certainly will celebrate him as well. Anyways, you guys, have a good rest of your weekend. I love you guys. We're all in this together. Remember that? All in this together. Keep that in mind. Even when things start to lift, don't go back to normal. Don't say, I wanted everything to go back to normal. Normal was horrible. Let's go back to just being what we should have been from the beginning. Okay? Let's do this. All right, you guys, we're all in this together. Be safe out there. Stay home. Stay inside. Take care of yourselves. Ohana. And Ohana means
Family.
Family. And family does not get left behind. Have a good rest of your weekend, you guys. We love you.